Yeah, mate, we got hards on. We're going to the end.
Hard on, brother. We're going to the end. Welcome back to this Formula One podcast where we talk all things Formula One. And today, we're talking about one of the best bits of Formula One, the team radios. If you don't know because you don't watch this wonderful, beautiful sport full of passion and emotion, you wouldn't get even half of that passion and emotion if it wasn't for team radios. Imagine the cars just whipping around the track going, go get Latifi catch up. Just imagine that. Rest in peace, Latifi. Drama king. Very slow though. You get so much from team radios. You just lose so much life out of the sport, which I know that obviously once upon a time wasn't there. Technology, crazy, right? But just being able to imagine you see big moments like that big crash between Hamilton and Verstappen, or that other big crash, that one at Monza between Hamilton and Verstappen compared to Silverstone, or that night race crash between Hamilton and Verstappen. You want to hear the sort of, it's a manipulation, man. This is what happens when you don't leave the space. You want, it's great. We're not going to be ranking today particular team radios. We're not going to be putting iconic radios against each other. We're going to be ranking the drivers in order of best team radio to worst team radios consistently in general. Now, there might be people who I don't like how they act maybe sometimes on team radios or whatever, but if it's entertaining, it's entertaining. You know what I'm saying, man? It's all entertainment at the end of the day. No such thing as bad radio, as long as you're talking. Some people don't talk. That if you're near the bottom, it's either because I just don't like you as a driver that much, so therefore any of your radios I actively just don't like because I don't really rate you as a driver. So therefore you could be on that radio singing your little lungs out, singing a little "We are the champions, my friend." And if I don't like you, that team radio is going to be interpreted by me as annoying because I don't want to hear that. I want to hear you sort of just being a loser, but you're winning. And yes. So yeah, if you're near the bottom, you're either just sort of forgettable or not a favorite driver of mine. Now that sort of brings us on perfectly to our number 20th place, Esteban Ocon. Oh, Esteban. What are we gonna do with you? I've sort of, I feel like in a very short span of time, I've made it clear where my loyalties lie, and they're not in Esteban's bed. I just find him to be irritating. I find his energy grotesque. I'm being harsh, obviously. I actually don't have any strong in terms of hatred feelings to any driver, to be honest. But Ocon is my least favorite. He's always kind of been my least favorite. I just think he puts his weight around a lot, but I don't know if he can really back it up. He's won a race. I feel like I just feel like yeah, he still has to do well. If it was someone I liked, I would have given him more credit for it, but I don't like him that much. Good place, good time. I just feel like Ocon, Alonso obviously so much better than him. And yet he finished a but this is what type of stuff that makes me not like drivers, right? If Ocon was at probably a team like Alfa Romeo and was doing a good job, I'd probably like him more. But when he's in an Alpine or whatever, and he's going against Alonso, and Alonso is clearly better, but then I just don't like people who are in a false sense of reality. I don't like. I think he finished above him. These types of things just irk me. It's like he's walking around the paddock I don't know his accent. I finished on top of two-time champion Fernando Alonso. I'm the real deal. I got the win, and that's why when the team ask him, "Yo, switch positions. You're slow as shit," and he doesn't do it. He just stays quiet, and then he gets to the car like nothing happened. He just fuck up the strategy. It pisses me off because he thinks in his mind, "I'm number one driver." Ocon, your skinny jeans are too tight. You're number 20. Number 19, sorry, it's Gasly. He's just a forgettable one to me. I don't really remember much moments. I remember him getting annoyed about the tractor on track. How can we forget these things? This literally happened before, man. But apart from that, and don't, I know what you're saying. That's a sad moment. Someone died, and obviously it's sad. I'm just, talking. I'm removing, for example, that a lot of funny team radios come from tense scenarios, either a close battle or you being in a high speed crash where you could have died, or maybe you are having memories of when someone did die. But at the end of the day, I'm looking at these, just sort of take the context out of it. Well, you can't really, because sometimes the context will makes it funny. But just listen to the radio and just be like, get the emotion from it. And I know that sounds like I'm a psychopath being like, oh, now that's getting me going, as he talks about this heartfelt thing. But you can't, I don't know, sometimes it's just, Gasly's 19th. 18 we got Zhou. Nothing to say on you, Zhou. Yeah, no, you're not, maybe not been here long enough, mate. I've just not heard many from you, mate. You gotta go in 18th, sorry. 17th is De Vries, who I have heard some radios of in the short time he's been here. And I do see why people find him a little bit annoying now. He kind of does have, like, I remember there was this football advert. There's many adverts or movie which has a similar concept. Cars Free, for my Cars enthusiast fans out there. I'm talking about the film Cars, not car enthusiasts like, you know, normal regular people have. I'm talking about the film, the Pixar animation, where it's like they get in like, it's out with the old, in with the new. You're just old technology. You can't do what these new young bucks are doing. And it's like the new car, and he's like got all this AI stuff, and he's like, it's you know, it's in with the old and out with the in with the out with the old, yeah. And he kind of just has that, like, he walks in with like his what looks to be like he wears nothing but like a thermals, like he wears base layers only. It's like that's meant to, Nick. It goes under a t-shirt or something. He just walks out in those only, like he's like been made in like a 3D printer, like, I am here to destroy. And then sometimes you hear him on the radio and he has this sort of like, he's like, guys, why are you not pitting me? I could have finished a lot higher today. Why you not do this for me? And he just kind of has this sort of goofy, geeky energy. But if he starts doing some sick things in a car, it could be cool. And even if he doesn't, at least it's something interesting, you know? At least he's not just being like, even if he's annoying, it's still entertainment. Well done, De Vries. Your P17. P16, 15, I got nothing to say on them. I just put them here because I feel like there's probably moments that people would have liked. I got into Formula 1 for Drive to Survive. I don't know all of these Hulkenberg, Magnussen moments. I know, you know, suck my balls, fuck you, or whatever they said in the interview once, which, you know, Formula 1 just love to sort of suck the, you know, ironically speaking, I suppose, I don't know if that's ironic at all, but just suck the juices out of what one incident, like all beef, all drama. Find new drama. I hate hanging around on old drama. It's done now. It's done now. I guess this whole video is talking about old drama. Anyway, I can't think of a single radio from Hulkenberg or Magnussen. I don't really care much for them as drivers. So, you know, they're here. Maybe that's unfair. It's just an opinion. Number 14, I have Bottas. Valtteri Bottas. He is someone you like to get on the radio. I don't like joke tellers. I've came to that conclusion. I don't like people who get on the radio to practice their stand-up comedy. Get on the radio to swear at your team or do nothing else. You know, that's kind of what I need when you get on the radio. Get on the radio to be a bastard. Get on the radio to try and get yourself cancelled. Shout out Dan Tickton. Don't get on the radio to be like, oh, I just drove off track. Just thought I'd go for a little chopping off the lawn. I just hate that kind of frolicking through the fields. He just has it. Bottas has a very sort of Scandinavian humour, let's just say. And he's kind of like he's in the car and he's not thinking, oh, this button here, overtake there. He's just kind of thinking, an F1 driver and Crofty walk into a bar. He's just in there like practicing bits and jokes and stuff. Like, his whole season is like, I just want to be the funny guy. I'm going to make my helmet look like my head. I'm going to have a mullet. I'm going to like pose naked on the floor of the lakes. I'm the funny guy. And it's kind of like, I don't know, Bottas, you're kind of old. Sorry, Bottas, you're 14th. And also, you're not doing anything cool in a car. You're sort of driving around in the middle. Just above him, actually, though, someone who is around the front. I got Sergio Perez, man. And for like a particular moment alone, I just feel like Sergio's sort of a weak guy. Obviously, he's a strong guy in terms of, you know, what we've seen him do in a car. I don't know why I just turned into Christian Horner there. what we've seen him do in a car. You know, change your fucking car. But it was, you know what it was? It was the moment where like Perez sort of tickled under the scrotum, and then sort of ran away. Like he promised something and said, "Nah," and ripped it away from me. He sort of handed me the new Star Wars Lego set and said, "This is for you to watch me build." And then, you know, I had to sit behind plexiglass and watch him build it. Like, he goes, I can't remember what it was because last year I'm like a turtle. Or no, they've got good memories. I'm like whatever doesn't. And like something happens and he's like, "Guys, I just wanted to go on the radio to say, we can't do this. You're sacrificing my race." And they're like, "Shut up." And he's like, "I don't like this." They're like, "Let Max overtake" or something. And he's like, "I don't agree with this, but okay." It's like, if you're going to say okay at the end anyway, the whole "I don't agree with this" in the beginning part was just, I thought you was about to actually fight back against the team for a split second, and then you didn't. You was just like, I don't agree with this, but okay, I'll do exactly what you ask. Okay, just do it then. If like that whole beginning part is just not needed, you know. It's like, okay. Other times where like, I don't know, man. It's like, just be in or be out, Perez. And I know it's because he's kind of almost didn't have a seat at a point, which seemed crazy. But then he got one in Red Bull, and it feels like Red Bull, they could get rid of you at any point. You know, I mean, I didn't feel like Perez had a particularly bad season at any point last season. But then you watch Drive to Survive, you hear people's fucking hell, just dropped that picture behind me, and I won't be picking it back up. If you're on audio, that meant nothing to you. I just think with Perez, it's like he's too on edge, so he feels like he can't chat shit because he will get banged. Moving on up, I've actually got Logan Sargent above Perez based off nothing yet, but you know, we got we got an American in the car. That's not an American accent. We've got like an American. He sounds like very American. He sounds kind of American in the sense it sounds like my American accent, therefore fake. Like he's kind of, I'm the American driver. Come on, guys, let's overtake. Guys, come on, let's get some points today. Let's go, team. Let's go. Defense. You know, and I just think it's just fun to have about, hey, maybe it's recency bias and maybe the naughty will wear off, but right now I'm enjoying my Christmas present. It's fun for now. Above him, you've got Piastri. Based off nothing. I don't think I've even heard him have one radio apart from being like, the wheel's not working, or whatever he said. But I like Piastri's in the McLaren. I'm a biased man. So Piastri goes P11, P10. I mean, I'm predicting here that Piastri's going to have some good results in the future and will provide me with good radios. Does that make no sense? Of course not. We're meant to be basing this off actual radios we've heard. Shoot me. Next we got Albon. He does a similar thing to Hamilton, which I'll go into more when we get to Hamilton, in the way he kind of speaks now, with getting into cadences and sort of just the general tones of people on the radio. He generally stays quite muted, but he does good things in the car, and I like hearing him elated when he gets them at one point, you know, in the Williams, which feels like winning the championship. And he's like, "Oh, yes, guys. Yes, guys. Oh, yes, guys." You know, I just find it endearing in a way. Ninth, we got Russell. Russell is someone who I find annoying. He's sort of just, he is the Raichu to De Vries's Pikachu. He's just the evolved form, the better, bigger, more experienced version. Sort of just being like, guys, is Hamilton like saving his tires, or is he just slow as fuck? Because yeah, I can overtake him. Just kind of being like that in a car. Guys, what's the deal here? What's the deal? Is Hamilton like saving his tires or something, or am I overtaking him? Because I will. You know, he's just kind of got that going on. And I don't know, Russell to me is that one minute I love him, 1 minute I hate him. And that's a good thing, you know. We're toxic for each other. Next up we got Hamilton. I started getting into this. I'm going to get into it. Hamilton gives away, apparently, if you want to believe Crofty and all these people, not a lot. Hamilton's always going on like, "Yep, tires are gone. The tires are gone, man." And all this other stuff. And then Crofty's always saying, "Well, Hamilton's saying his tires are gone, but he could just be playing games with Bono trying to trick the other team." And it never feels like that's ever the case. It never feels like he's like, it's so rare where he says stuff like, "I'm really struggling, man. really struggling in the car, and then he just drives well. Like, it feels like he's saying it because he is. And I just rarely see this whole like saying one thing but meaning another thing they always go on about with Hamilton. Um, I feel like he probably says he's struggling when realistically he's not really struggling. Like, he's dealing with what everyone else is, but he calls that struggling. So it's kind of, it has you on edge when you want him to do well, and then he'll be ahead and he'll be like, I've lost all the tires. Tires completely gone, man. Actually, that's a good point. Because he does do that. He'll be like, man, the tires are completely gone. And then they'll box him and he'll be like, why'd you box me, man? Those tires felt great. It's just like, you're tricking your own team. Always getting mad at his own team, though. Well, he says he'll come out in interviews and say, my team don't make mistakes. Interviewer asks a normal question. Why would you ask me that? Why the fuck would you ask me that? You think, why would I have a problem with my team's decisions, huh? In case my team made a mistake. My team don't make mistakes. My team don't make fucking mistakes until they do, and then I call them out for it in the radio. I'll call them out for it in the radio. And he does do it, but I like Hamilton. The one thing I wanted to mention, which is similar to Albon, is they both sound the most like they're dealing with high Gs. Like, everyone else in the car, sometimes you hear like Alonso, and obviously maybe it's not matching up completely, but he's going through like a high-speed chicane. Is that the right word or something? And he'll sound like this. Aha, yeah, I'm the dark master of the dark arts. I'm leading them to my trap, or whatever. I've got no one's accent right there. Just talking like that, just like sounding like a Disney villain. And then you'll hear Hamilton going down the straight, and he'll be like, yeah, can someone let me know if these tires are okay? Yeah, like he's literally taking off, breaking through the ozone layer. He just sounds the most same on a slightly lesser extent of Albon. He'll kind of be like, sorry guys, yeah, sorry guys, just crashed the car. Sorry guys, I'm so sorry guys. Everyone else kind of, you wouldn't really know they're in a car. Hamilton, it's like, guys, can you let me know? Like, he's running a marathon. In the 7, I got Lando Norris. Just a bit of bias because Norris's radios, he's kind of similar to Bottas. He's a joke teller sometimes. He's out there, he's singing songs, he's being goofy. But my favourite Norris moments, for me, what's brought him up this high, when he does that last lap, sort of gain of 1 point whatever seconds on Hamilton to get his first podium. And not gonna lie, when he loses his chance at a first win, that's where I really got something to feed on. That's when I was really sucking on the teat. I love that. And he's my favorite driver, and I still love those character building moments where he's like, fuck, get off my fucking. Like, I love those moments. It's like, he'll learn from that. They'll hurt you. I want to see you hurt. Even though I like you, I want to see you hurt. I want to see you use that. And just some real. Oh, you're not joking now. You're not going up and down, side to side like a roller coaster. Now you're fucking crying, Lando. Now it's all coming out from the heart. Like that. Lance Stroll we have at 6. I know that sounds crazy. You probably thought, you probably said Lance like 18th, 19th, brushed over, and I just forgot. No, Lance is this high. His radios are incredibly annoying and spoilt and bratish, and that's why he's this high. He never fails to make me laugh when he shrills and squeals with his shrill voice. Does that make sense? Basically, when he squeaks out Brad's name, on the radio. Like, I don't know many. I can't think of other drivers constantly calling the engineers by their first names regularly, which he always does. We're like, fucking hell, Brad. Like, it's Brad's like individual fault for certain things. But fix it, Brad. And it's like, just straight up pull out the government. Lance makes me laugh sometimes. I will say that. Number 5. I'm not even a fan of him, but I'm gonna go Alonso. Just because he does pull out some, I can see he's a man of the people. The people love Alonso. I can see his stock is at an all-time high. He's saying all the right things on the radios, and I can tell people love that. And look, I'm gonna step out of my own sort of bias bubble here, and I'm gonna at least give one person where they deserve to be. And I'm gonna say fair play to Alonso. Look, you're not really my guy. I'm not fully on your camp, but you know what? I gotta say fair play to you, mate, because you're out here cooking. I'm gonna let you cook. Number 4, similar to Lance, and why I've got him up here. Sonoda, and I've complained a little bit about Sonoda, the fact that you come in, your first race, you've done nothing, you've proved nothing, you probably just met these people recently, like your team and shit. You kind of want them to like you kind of want them not to drop you out of the sport. You kind of want them to think they like working with you, because it's all well and good like swearing at your team when you're good, and then they're swearing at your team when you're Magnussen, and then your own boss has to be like, so everyone fucking hates you, Nick, because you're fucking annoying, so it's like that can happen. And Sonoda will just like be screaming at people like a madman when he's like spinning out in P15. But hey, it is entertaining. It is good radio. It is good fun times. And I do want to see him do well. So I've got him up in P4. Well done, Sonoda. P3, if you're not sure, if you've not been counting along to who's left, we got Charles Leclerc, we got Carlos Sainz. So we've got 2 Ferraris. Considering they're a team full of such bad sort of engineering, sort of what's the word, strategy stuff. At least their radios are great. They got things all right in that department. And Max Verstappen. Yep, Max Verstappen is at the top of another F1 list. I know it's boring, isn't it? But in which order will these go? Well, I'll let you know. I'll let you know the full top 3 now. I'll spoil it. It's not really a spoil. I'm sort of just telling you. I have to remind myself. It is indeed a Ferrari sandwich. Ferrari being the bread. Red Bull being that Red Bull filling, which sounds so gross when you say it like that. Especially when the rumours of what is in Red Bull. You could say there's a bit of a Red Bull filling, a certain Red Bull's filling in Red Bull. Anyway, this is the type of stuff Bottas is writing down in the car when he's going 200 miles an hour. Yeah. But which Ferraris? Which Ferraris are which way around? Look, I got Sainz P3, I got Verstappen P2, and I got Leclerc P1. Red flags, I'm going to give my credit to red flags here, because they've kind of made me see the light to Leclerc. He's not formulated, he's not stringing out poetic sentences. If Daniel Ricciardo was still in the spot, I'd put him very high on this list. He's very different though in that sense. It's sort of, it's a bit more Shakespearean. He writes out, a little bit more maybe Christopher Nolan. He's writing out a new blockbuster. Or man, maybe that's too much credit. Maybe a little bit more Marvel movie these days. But whereas Leclerc is, I don't think, I am stupid. I am so stupid. Fuck me, I'm a dumb, stupid boy. Like he like the second he makes the Ford. It's kind of like they're not radios. It's kind of like they put his radio things on his forehead, and we just hear the thoughts of him. Like he's just sitting there quietly in his car, like. But then we hear it on the inside. It's like, I am stupid. And when the team mess up in Monza for like that, and he doesn't get on the podium for like the 1,000th time in his home race, even last weekend, it's painful for Leclerc, but I love to see it. He's P1, it's easy. And Verstappen, Verstappen's a fantastic driver, and the knives are sharp. I don't know what this voice is. Christian Horner. Oh God, get him in a Formula 1 car. His radios would be elite. Verstappen, you don't get to hear them. They're real beacons of light. They're like strikes of lightning, because he's always so far ahead. You don't ever get to hear it. It's just him cruising, be like, yeah, how are the tires? Oh, the good. You don't get to hear it. But when he is in the thick of it, you are guaranteed good radios. When he's fighting when he actually has to overtake someone, when he's actually got to do some work, it's great. We've seen it. He's an aggressive person. We've been tricked into thinking, oh, he's less aggressive now. He's learned a bit, and yeah, sure he has a bit. Obviously, he's got better. He's matured in that sense. But put him in the sticks. You will see the dog come back out, because the dog still lives permanently inside there. And Sainz, I've got in P3, which might sound a bit high for some people, but I just think Sainz, he offers something different. I love the way he basically tells the pit wall what to do. Charles will kind of be like, I don't want to do this, guys. Please don't make me do this. I don't want to do this. I feel like it's a mistake. But then he'll still trust them and then feel the pain. Whereas Carlos will be like, guys, please don't make me do this, guys. Guys, please don't make me do this, guys.
This is wrong, guys. Please don't put me in this position, man. I'm the smooth operator. Please don't put me in this position. And they'll be like, Carlos, pit. And he'll be like, I'm not pitting. The clouds are going to rain in 2 minutes, and I'm going to stay out, and I'm going to win the race.
And he'll do it. He does it every time. He calls stuff perfectly. His strategy is on point. That is how he's a smooth operator. He thinks he's a smooth operator and how he's maneuvering the car. And he's a good driver, don't get me wrong. But, he's smooth with the lips on the radio. When he's on the radio and he's like,
Guys, don't put me in this position.
like, it is, I'm trying my best here. I want to get at least one accent down. I can't. But it's just those moments where he's like, Sainz, we want you to defend and not let. And he's like,
No, don't make me do this.
Sainz, we want you to pit the raid. No, I'm staying out. And he's just right every time, man. Honestly, sack Sainz from driving off. Look, you're a good driver, Sainz. We're going to miss you a lot. Yeah, sure. Get rid of Sainz and get Hamilton in that Ferrari or something. Get Sainz on the pit wall. Okay, now we're talking. Sainz on the pit wall with little headphones on.
Making the moves. The two drivers in the car.
We have, Lewis Ham, or another good driver, Charles Leclerc, doing the driving, Sainz doing the talking. Now he's, that's pretty good. That's my list of drivers' radios ranked from 1 to best to worst. I think it was perfect. I think it can't be touched, and I think, why would it be? It's sort of, don't debate it, just admire it. Just sort of don't fart on it. We're done here. I think we're done here. I think we're done here. No race, so we've had to sort of, scrape the bottom of the barrel, just really scat that final, get those dregs, that's good, that good shit, filter it through, make something drinkable. You hope anyway. But next week this week races will be back. It's Ross week, and I'm thoroughly looking forward to it. My gazers, I'll see you there. Well, we're not going, let's be honest. We're not made of money. Yeah. Hard on, fellas.